Welcome back to the Horn Takes podcast. I am Sean Redfern. This is the Bullpen, the internet show all about Texas baseball. Joining me as always tonight, we've got Mark Pena from Occupy Left Field, and we've got Zach Sim from OrangeBloods.com. How are we doing tonight, fellas?
Doing fantastic, man. Glad to be back on the show. Another successful weekend, right?
That's right. You can't a successful week, I would say. Like all the going back to the midweek and then on in through the weekend, pretty successful. I mean, it doesn't get more successful than 4-0, and 3 of the 4 games you've played are run rule. I don't think. Like, I mean, that's pretty good, right? I see Zach's making. Zach is watching the World Baseball Classic right now. I know it.
I think Bryce Harper just about killed the Mexican pitcher with a liner right off his foot.
Oh no. Yeah, I was watching it a little bit before we came on. I will definitely get back to that when we're done. Pena, talk to us about this stash, man. What's going on? You're joining. You're joining the. I mean, you always had a mustache, but you had a beard that went with it. So you're kind of.
I trimmed my beard earlier today, and I left the top part a little bit longer. Nothing.
There you go.
But just
I just can't.
Longer.
I just can't do that. I mean, I think I would look really good. I just can't do it, man. I gotta stay with the beard. I gotta keep the beard going. Before we get started tonight, get over to ChinookSeedery.com. Check them out, man. They're a Texas-based company. They love college baseball. They support all types of college baseball accounts. And the seeds are really freaking good. 8 great flavors. If you use our promo code Horn Takes, you get 10% off your first order. Let's talk about it. We kind of brought it up. Really great week. Going back to the midweek against Houston Christian. What was the score of that game? The score of that game was 16-3 in 7 innings. Cozart has another great start. Is there anything else left to say about that one other than they did what we thought they should do, right? They showed up and they played a damn good baseball game. Do we even need to talk about the Houston Christian game anymore? Probably not. I know you got something to say, Mark.
Dude, I'm just ready to look forward, man. We're at the point now where, we've seen what Texas can do against average opponents, and we know the type of team that we have, and it's time to play some big boy baseball now. So this is going to be a fantastic week coming up. But man, they just handled their business during the week, right? You can't do much better than 3 10-run rules. I think Saturday, right, with the rain delay, crappy weather, empty stadium, got a little dicey in that 9th inning. But I think in the end that might be a little bit of a good thing, right? Might light a fire under a couple of them, might have pissed them off a little bit that they didn't pitch as well as they would have liked. But man, I'm ready for the week ahead.
Absolutely. Shiner, Texas is ready for the weekend ahead. Man, I'm jealous of people that live in Shiner, Texas. I just feel like the beer in Shiner, Texas just tastes a little bit better than it does anywhere else in Texas. So, man, thanks for joining us, CSC Texas. If you're out there watching us, jump in the chat, leave us your comments, leave us your questions. We don't know it all, but we like to talk about it. So definitely join us. Zach, let's talk about the weekend a little bit. So Friday night, just another kind of ass whipping type of game.
Yep.
Sunday, ass whooping type of game. Saturday, and I've said this a couple times so far this year, Zach, I feel like Saturday, and we've only had 4 Saturdays, so let's not like act like I'm not going to pretend it's definitely a problem, but it's something I've noticed. Saturdays just seem like an off day, a slow start for this Texas team. Is like, do you see that at all? Am I crazy? And if so, if you do see it, like, what do you think that's all about?
I mean, on the pitching front, you're going to get the exact same start every single Saturday.
Exactly.
Luke Harrison's going to give you 4 1/3, 4 2/3. He's going to give up 1 run.
He's going to miss the decision by
maybe,
1 out.
Maybe 2 runs. But like that's the Harrison start. And the thing about it is people want to complain, and I'm going to get on my soapbox here, but if you look at the last 2 seasons with Harrison on the mound, when Harrison starts, Texas is 15-3.
Yeah.
Tell me you want to replace him. It makes no sense to me. Like, the guy is a veteran. He's going to go out there. Is it going to be sexy? No, it's not. But he's going to go out there and shove. And as far as, this past Saturday against the USC Upstate, like, am I concerned? No, they had an hour and a half cool down after they had just scored 7 runs, and then just, okay, go sit on the bench, go sit there in the locker room and hang out. And the other thing about this Saturday was the wind was blowing in and it was cold. So I mean, they went from like 80 degrees to 60 degrees, and both Saturday and Sunday, the air was heavy. Like, you weren't hitting anything out, and so no,
unless you're Josh Livingston, and then you were hitting bombs on Sunday.
But I don't have any complaints about Saturday over a season, right? I think what we saw from Hayden LeFew was fantastic, and I think Sloss would tell you that was the most important takeaway he got from this weekend was Hayden LeFew getting in there and continuing to look good. But no, I mean, it's one of those things, like, they're going to throw strikes. The other team's going to swing a lot, and they got some good hitters on their team. And when you got a freshman going up and then chucking it, things are going to happen. So.
Yeah, I commented, like, I think on I've been doing this thing, like, after every game where I just jot down some thoughts, like these random thoughts that come to my mind as we're watching the game, and I throw that on Twitter. And one of the things I said about the game Saturday, I felt like I watched 3 Texas baseball games on Saturday. Like, I got up, I was all hyped up, like, we got a 1 p.m. pitch, and then it kept getting pushed. They finally got to play some baseball, and then they got rain delayed or lightning delayed, whatever it was. And then we finally came back. I said, shit, they're not even going to end up playing this game till like 7 o'clock. And I can't remember when they resumed, but it was pretty close to 7 o'clock, I think.
7:40.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, damn near 8 o'clock. So yeah, I don't. We got a chat right here asking, should we be concerned about Luke or Dylan? I don't think so at all. I think Luke is Luke. He's always been Luke. I think Dylan probably didn't have his best start, obviously, but there were still moments of that start where it was really good, like classic, what you expect out of Dylan Valanis. So I don't think. I think, honestly, this team is bored right now. Like, I mean, they've gone out and just kicked the shit out of almost. I mean, what do they have? 6 run rules in 15 games, and like, it's just like domination. And
Sean, in 15 games, they've scored 111 runs more than their opponent, and we're averaging 7.4 runs, like, margin of victory a game. That's insane, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I really honestly think they're just bored. And say what you want. I mean, even professionals probably get bored. Like, if you put like an MLB team out there that's just smoking everybody, at some point there's got to be this time where they kind of lose focus, because it's just human nature. You just kind of get in a groove, and you're like, man, I guess like nobody can beat us. And it's easy to lose focus. We see it in football all the time. Teams get a huge lead, and then they kind of piss it away, or it just doesn't look like good football in the second half. And I don't think baseball is that much different in terms of the mental approach, where sometimes it just is what it is. Will this team? You know what this team has done though? Like, every time a team has like scored some runs on them, they've come back and they've scored some. It's like they wake up. So there's never like this inning, multiple inning down period for this 2026 team so far. They have their moments like every baseball team does, but they always seem to respond. And I think more important than never having those moments is being able to respond when you do, because you're always going to have those moments. Like, there's no perfect season in college baseball. So yeah, I'm not worried about it. I did not like the 6 runs in the 9th inning though, because I was just like, dude, honestly, I just wanted to go to bed. I was wore out. I'd been baseballing all day. I just wanted to go to bed, and I couldn't, because I was like, man, are they gonna lose? Like, is this gonna happen? Like, I was just thinking to myself, we haven't lost a game. This isn't a team we should lose a game to. Is this how we lose a game? Is kind of what kept popping through my head. But yeah, other than that, though, last week was a dream. But now I think the baseball picks up a little bit. You got a Texas State team. We got to go on the road, which most people would say, but no, We're going on the road to Texas State. That's a win, or should be a win. We win in San Marcos. We don't win in Austin against Texas State. And then an Ole Miss team, man, Ole Miss team that started the year ranked, I believe, has somehow fallen out of the ranks, even though they've only lost 2 games. They're not in the top 25 anymore. They got some kids that can hit. They got some kids that can pitch. Needless to say, the level of baseball, the level of opposition is about to get a little bit tougher for this Texas baseball team. So I'm interested to see what they do tomorrow night. Zach, why don't you talk to us a little bit about this Texas State team, what they've done, who they've played, some names to watch. I know you always know the names. I don't know how you know all the names, but you always know the names of people to be looking for. Talk to us about all that, Zach.
Yeah, I would first off, someone asked, is there any concern over Luke or Dylan? Luke, no. Dylan, he didn't have his best stuff. He gave up 6 hits and 3 walks. And I think the walks were the bigger issue, right? Like, he just needs to have better arm side command. But like, if you look at a lot of Dylan starts, like, there for a while, like, he wasn't giving up anything in the air. Everything was just a soft, like, infield hit. So it's just, batters putting in all his hits that he gave up on Sunday were all to right field. Like, they were just staying deep and just trying to. But after the game, I think it was really telling. And when Sloss had a comment, and let me find it real quick. What did he say? He said, "We do a good job of pitching to what the success needs to be that day without giving anything away."
Yeah.
Read into that what you will. But like, I think to me, that's a very telling comment that Sloss said after the game. But yeah, so Texas State, they're 12-3 on the season. Longhorns have won 6 in a row in San Marcos. The last time they lost was the fire disaster dumpster, whatever you want to call it, of 2019. San Marcos or Texas State, they've played Niagara, which they swept. They lost to Baylor. They took 2 of 3 from Gonzaga. They actually beat UTSA on a midweek game, 2 weeks back, which was a good one. Swept Abilene Christian, and then they went 3-1 against Washington State this past weekend. So solid team. They, had a losing season last year under Trout, so they're obviously off to a much better start. And the biggest thing is they're pitching a lot better. Last year, they couldn't pitch to save their lives, so that a lot of roster turnover. What's going to be interesting to see who they start, though, because the midweek guy that started all their games, because it was a 4-game weekend, he started on Sunday. So probably a guy that hasn't started a game yet for him this season. From a pitching standpoint, one of the guys that I look at is Wade Cooper. He's got 4 saves already on the year and 6 appearances. So he's obviously their stopper. He's going to come in and try to, keep the game close or tie it up. They've got a couple of Longhorns, either former commits. Cam O'Bannon is still there. He's pitched an inning or 2. Tyler Walton, he's a lefty out of San Antonio. He's pitched a little bit as well. He was a former recruit. But the other big name is Jacque Stewart, right? He was at Texas last year playing first base on occasion. He's having a really good season, hitting 356, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. So I think the big name that's been surprising for Texas State is Chase Mora. He's hitting like 258. Just hasn't had a lot of good contact or power, which is unlike him. And so that's interesting. But the other name to watch out for is Dawson Park. He doesn't hit for the high average, but he's got a lot of power, and he's gotten healthy because he was banged up for a little bit. So it'll be a good matchup. The wind's gonna be blowing out from the south to the north. So that stadium plays small. Yeah, that stadium plays small anyway. So right field, you might see some cars get hit.
Are you headed down there, Mark? Is anybody from Occupy Left Field going to San Marcos?
Oh yeah, we got a big crew going tomorrow, man. So it'll be fun. Like you mentioned, it's always a hostile environment. Those students that show up to their 4 or 5 games a year really like to talk shit when Texas walks into the stadium. They're pretty obnoxious. And I remember last year they had a really big lead against us, and they were just fucking chirping the entire game, talking shit to parents, talking shit to us. And then as soon as we took the lead, their whole section just disappeared. So hopefully
it's kind of hard to stay around when you talk that much trash and it doesn't hold up, to be fair. But
we get out ahead and play from ahead tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping for.
Absolutely. You know, I don't like playing from behind. I think at some point this team's going to have to prove they can do it, because I just honestly don't think they'll just continue to beat the crap out of everybody. I'd love to see it. I just don't think it'll happen. So I mean, I think this is one of those types of games where that could be the case, where you know, Texas State might get an early lead, not a huge, but an early lead, and then Texas has to figure out a way to claw back in it and get a win on the road. I remember, man, it was like 2 or 3 years ago when they went down there one time. There was like people lined up for like freaking miles, it looked like, just to get into the stadium. Like, it's a big deal when the Texas Longhorns travel to Texas State. Always seems like a rowdy, fun environment. So yeah, I mean, it should be, I would expect it to be a good time tomorrow night. So if you're in the San Marcos area, definitely try to get over there. If you're in Austin, try to get down I-35 as well and go see. I think it'll be a pretty good baseball game. I'll ask you, Zach, first. What do you think the score of this ball game is? Who wins it?
I think Texas is going to win 12-6.
Texas winning 12-6. What do you got, Mark?
I think it will be a high-scoring game. That park plays really small. I feel like every time we go over there and play Texas State, somebody's hitting double digits, and it's a high-scoring game. So, yeah, I think Texas is going to win. I'll guess that we hit 3 or more home runs if the wind is blowing out, and I'm expecting to see a Texas victory. So hopefully that'll be the case.
Average margin of victory in San Marcos is 3 runs, for the record.
Wow. Yeah. A lot of those have come from behind, though. Am I mistaken? I feel like they've taken the lead on us a couple of years, and we've come back at the end.
Yeah, last year was they were up 9-4, and then Galvan hit the big home run in the 8th, and then obviously Flores hit the grand slam in the 9th. And then the year before that, Texas came back from 3 runs, and the year before that, they were down 1 run. So yeah, it's Texas State always puts up a fight. I mean, they're gonna throw the kitchen sink. I mean, it wasn't last year, or maybe it was last year, but either 2025 or 2024, Texas set the attendance record. And like, if you look at all the attendance records for Texas State, it's like Texas, A&M, Texas. Like, it's yeah. But it was funny. Like, I talked to Schloss today about it, and he said even when he was at TCU, it was always one of the toughest places to play. Yeah. We asked Borba last night, and he said, "Look, it's, you know, it is one of the toughest places." Livingston said all the people that have been down there told him it's a much tougher place to play than even some of the SEC stadiums. Like, it's just a small, intimate crowd. They're right on top of you. And to Mark's point, they're chirpy. So
yeah.
I remember when the Clemens boys were on our team, man. They were Roger was down there on that little train or whatever they
patio,
had, the right field line. He actually came into the stands to talk shit to some of the frat boys that were in the stands. He walked up to the stands and said, "Why don't you say it to my face?" And that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I was gonna mention, man, tickets for the game tomorrow are going for like $200.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's always sold out. It's every single year.
Is sold out, and if you want to get in, you better have a couple $100 on you. Yeah, it's not cheap to get into that stadium for this matchup.
Isn't that the place where like people will be standing on the bleachers at the football field, like to watch the baseball? Softball stadium. Okay. Yeah. So maybe you can go hang out at the softball stadium. If you don't get kicked out, if you're wearing burnt orange, you probably can't do that. You probably have to be a Texas State fan to pull that one off. But anyway, yeah, I think Texas will get it done. I think they'll head into SEC play 16-0, which will match that 2005 team, I believe, that went on to win the national championship. So that's the kind of, at least like 4 weeks into the baseball season, that's the kind of waters this 2026 team is in. Let's talk about the state of the team real quick. We got a question in the chat. Someone's asking about A-Rod's lingering hand injury, Jonah's shoulder. Are we concerned about that? I'll give my 2 cents real quick, and then I'll turn it over to you, Mark and Zach. But here's my thoughts. It does concern me a little bit with A-Rod because I see him favor that thing a lot, especially when he makes, like, you know, if you've played baseball, you've made weird contact. It hurts your hand. It's not solid contact. It looks like and here's what I do think, though. He always comes back. There was one game and I can't remember if it was this weekend or last weekend where he did that. I think it was actually when he almost got in a fight with the Ohio State pitcher. I was worried. I was like, man, the way he's favoring that thing, that does not look good. It'll be interesting to see if he comes out and plays, and he sure did. I think a lot of that is just a confidence thing. Like, he's expecting it to hurt really bad, and he's expecting it to be hurt, but it's not actually getting hurt, which is good. But I've gone through that with like a wrist injury. I broke my wrist before my junior year of high school, right before football season, and then I played with a broken wrist, and that sucked. Because I was a lineman, so I'm using my hands a lot. I had to fight through, like, I think I'm going to break my wrist again, like over and over and over again. So I think a lot of that with him is that. And then on Jonah, man, I don't know how you can't be a little bit concerned about Jonah's health issues. When he plays, he's amazing. But he seems to have these little naggy types of deals. He had the hamstring last year. He had a lot of injuries during football season. And then now it took him a while to get into the lineup because he was dealing with some naggy injury. And now it seems like he's kind of re-aggravated that. So that's just my thoughts as a fan. Mark, I'll turn it over to you. What are your thoughts on those two things?
I mean, honestly, right? Anytime you have one of your best players that's dinged up a little bit, you're concerned about it a little bit, right? But I'm hoping that A-Rod's situation is going to be something that's manageable and not, something that's going to get worse as the season goes on. So that's kind of what I hope there. And then for Jonah, right, it just seems like he probably needs a little bit of rest, right? I heard Schlossnagle in a lot of press conferences early in the year, just kind of saying he's not quite ready. He's not quite ready. And then, Friday night, he kind of overexerts himself on a play, dings himself up, and he's hurt again. So, yeah, I don't want them to rush Jonah back. I think he's going to be a huge piece of the team. And, he's going to be somebody that will have to rely on as you get into SEC play. So I think you can be cautious there with him. Maybe give him a little bit of time off. But A-Rod, man, just really hoping for the best. He's obviously one of the most important cogs in this machine. And, we don't have a ton of options if A-Rod's not healthy at short, right? You have to move a lot of pieces around to make up for that if that situation gets any worse. But I'm confident that he's going to be fine. I think he'll be able to deal, with that discomfort. And hopefully that's something that just improves as the season goes on.
All right, Zach, you're around the team. You're around Schloss a lot, having those types of conversations. What's your take on A-Rod, and what's your take on Jonah?
Yeah, with A-Rod, it's just pain management. It's load management, right? Like, he had the surgery before the season. He's not doing anything structurally to his hand. He's not injuring it. He can't re-injure it in that sense. And so what it is it's just healing a process, right? Like, he came back probably earlier than you would if you weren't in such a prime position and playing for a top-ranked team. And so he's having to deal through it. And when you look at him, it's not hurting him when he makes solid contact. Right. It's the swing and miss, and it's the check swing when your hand starts to roll over and start to contort a little bit. And it's simply just movement of the hand. But like, they treat him with kid gloves. Like, the trainers are on him 24/7. They're constantly looking after him, like trying to make sure everything's okay. And, it's a time thing. Like, he's not out there hurting himself, which is good. It's just the discomfort from that hand healing from the surgery. So no concerns there. He, like I said, as long as he continues to take care of it, the healing process just goes on. With Jonah, the shoulder is a concern, right? Like, he got dinged up during the bowl prep, and it's his non-throwing shoulder, it's his right shoulder. But there's legitimate concern. Like Sloss even said, like we had to teach him how to slide in feet first. We don't want him diving back in head first. And he made a kind of a boneheaded play and tried to dive for that ball in foul territory where like really didn't have a great chance to get it.
Yeah.
And they did the scans and there's nothing wrong. Like he didn't re-injure it. It's super sore. And so it's one of those things where you got to let it rest. You got to take time off. So I don't expect him in the lineup tomorrow. We'll see what the weekend brings, right? Like he's a competitor. He wants to be in there. At the same time, if Josh Livingston can continue to contribute as DH, you honestly don't need him. Like let him sit, let him get fully healed to Mark's point, and, let him bring him back, because reality is this. I don't think that his bat is at a place that he's not irreplaceable. His defense is not at a place where he's irreplaceable, because you have options like Larson and Pack on either side that can play every day in the outfield, and then you can change a guy out defensively. So, yeah, I mean, if I'm Schlossnagle, I say, like, go sit down, take care of yourself, take care of your shoulder, do whatever treatment you need to, because the reality is this: like, if he hurts it bad enough and continues to fuck around, he's going to have surgery.
Yeah.
And now he's not just missing baseball season. Now he's also missing football season. So, everyone from all sides are telling him, like, take care of this thing. And some of it's a maturity thing, right? Like we've talked about it before, where Schloss actually praised him. He's like, look, I didn't want him going too fast, too soon on that hamstring. And they time all of it. Like they wear that catapult system that Mark calls the bra, right? And they could tell him, do not go more than 75%. And he would run down the line at 75%. Like he's very in tune with his body, but he's just got to make more mature decisions when he's dinged up of like not stretching it out. So,
yeah, I think, and to your point, Zach, about, being irreplaceable or not, he was kind of the guy last year that was sort of the little energy bubble for the team. Like when he would come in the game, he would get the energy up. The crowd absolutely loved him. And I'm sure they still do. But now you got a guy like Aiden Robbins that's kind of maybe not on that same level, but he's that type of dude. Like the energy goes up when Aiden Robbins makes a play. He can get the place going. So to your point, I don't think you have to rush a guy like Jonah Williams back in when he's not 100% ready. I think from a long-term perspective, my concern with him is just, can he stay healthy? It's not like, can I get over this one and can I contribute to the team? Because I think we've already seen him contribute this year. If he gets healthy, he'll definitely contribute later on in the year. But it's, can he stay healthy and finish a season? Like, can the coaches go, we know we're going to have Jonah Williams for 54 games type of deal. So, it's a tough deal. You hate to see players get in those types of situations where it just almost seems like they're snake bit in a way. Like they just can't not have something wrong going on. I love Jonah, man. I think that kid, I've never seen a kid smile that much about, like, just doesn't even matter what's happening. He's smiling.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like Sloss and the staff love him as well, right? Like he brings a different energy to the dugout. He brings a different energy there. But he has to keep that up. Like if he's going to sit there, he can't pout. He can't like be down on himself. He's got to be energized, and he has to be that. Like, and that's where I think the maturity part comes into play. Is if you look at the pitching staff, they've got Brett Crossland, who provides the energy. They've got a guy like Cozart, even as a freshman, providing leadership, plus all the other leaders you already have.
Mm-hmm.
On the offensive side, you don't have that same group. Like you got Tinney, right? Like who provides kind of a stable thing, but Becerra's pretty quiet. Borba's fairly quiet. A-Rod brings energy. Aiden brings energy. Mendoza's like, will get in your face and like, hey, you need to get this right. But like, it's just a different type of energy. And so when I say he's not irreplaceable, that's not a dig on him at all. It's just, he's got to figure out what's best for him, and the staff has to like figure out, just how best to use him. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Let's try it again. We did it last week. Let's try it this week. You're on the big screen, Zach. What went right last weekend?
The hitting. 5 games in a row that the Horns have scored double-digit runs. So I brought the question up in the press box on, I think it was Saturday when we had an hour and a half to hang out and relax. And it was like, when's the last time this has happened? And we started going back, and we're like going back. 1989 was the last time.
Wow.
So you think about some offenses, and now Texas has never been a huge offensive team, but still, like, to go back to 89, like you're talking about some decent offensive record right there. So I think for me, it's just the consistency of the offense that everyone was kind of wondering about before the season started.
All right, Paney, you're up.
What went right, man? I got to find out some way to get a shout out in here for Temo Becerra. So I'm going to say he went right, man. That guy, I texted a bunch of people. I think it was on Sunday, maybe. That guy's a dog, man. Like, seriously, he is like a professional hitter. He just comes up to the plate and he's hitting line drives all over the place, man, and finding a place, between the infield, or lining one into left field, or hitting it over the fence. I mean, I've been so damn impressed by him. I honestly didn't have high expectations when we signed him. And I'll be honest, like I wasn't really too impressed with the signing. Like, as we were going through NIL, I was wanting some big names, and I was like, okay, well, that could be a good piece, but now let's go get some big names. And that guy has just exceeded all of my expectations, man. He's an incredible hitter. He's played some good third base, and he's just one of the best hitters that I've seen on a Texas lineup in a couple of years. I remember a couple of years ago being impressed with Skylar Messenger in the same way, where he got on a hot streak and was just roping the ball all over the place, playing a solid third base. And that just seems to be what Temo's going to be, man. So he's got to be my shout out of what went right over the last week.
Fair enough. I think I can't argue with either one of those. I think it's going to be pretty easy for us to always point towards pitching because the pitching has just been generally so very, very good. Even when someone's not their best, somebody else comes in and usually has a day, so we can always do that. I think an important piece that really started to come along, it really started to come along at the end, like out there in Houston, and then flowed through the midweek and on into this weekend is Borba is in the groove. Like, I think he's seeing the ball a lot better. He's making contact with the ball. He's punishing some baseballs. He's still getting those Texas leaguers. And I don't know how they keep falling in, but we'll take them. And I know he will as well. So I as we headed into this season, you looked at Borba and you looked at Tenney and you said, these guys are going to be our power, I think. And that's where this whole idea that, Texas may not have a lot of power in 2026 came from. Those guys haven't really got hot yet until Borba just kind of got hot here recently. And we're still hitting for power. So to have another bat in the lineup that's seeing the ball well, making contact with the ball, I think that's huge for this lineup. And to your point, Mark, the more guys that are like that, it's just hard to pitch to that many guys. It's got to be exhausting to come in and pitch to this lineup because they can all hit the baseball pretty well. So that's what went right to me. Zach, what went wrong?
Hour and a half rain delay. No, I mean, it's you talked about it before. The 6-run ninth wasn't obviously great, but at the same time, like, that's baseball. Like, if you throw down the middle, you're gonna give up some hits, and their stuff wasn't playing up because it was cold and windy. But yeah, I mean, that's obviously not something you want to see, especially from this type of caliber of pitching. So.
I hope Bing's the only one that lost audio. What about you, Mark?
What went wrong? I'm gonna kind of hit on what Zach just said, and I'm gonna try and spin it in a positive way. I think, honestly, right outside of Ruger and a couple other guys, I didn't think the pitching was all that great this weekend. We talk about the end of the Saturday game, which, that's a weird situation coming off a rain delay. I think there was literally 7 people in the stadium. So that's a tough environment when you got a big lead. But those guys didn't come in the ninth and do what I think the coaches expected them to do. Right, Hamilton coming in, walked a guy immediately. Burns came in, wasn't able to close the door. We talked about Luke and Dylan. I don't think either of them had their best stuff this weekend, but again, I'm viewing that as a positive, right? I don't think they necessarily needed their best stuff this weekend, and I've seen enough of them pitch. It kind of excites me, right, that they didn't pitch their best this past weekend, and so I'm expecting them to really be locked in when Ole Miss takes the field this weekend. And I think we're going to see just a different attitude, different mentality, and better results from the pitching.
Yeah, fair enough. Again, it's hard to look at a 15-0 team and find a lot of things that are wrong. And even if you look inside those games, it's hard to find like individual things that are. I mean, and I've already said it in the show. So I mean, the only thing I could think of over the weekend that went wrong was the ninth inning on Saturday, and it didn't go horribly wrong. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to understand if you're not ready to come in. I mean, you look at a guy like Burns. He probably didn't think he was pitching in this game on Saturday. He probably thought like, I'm done. I got to get back ready to pitch on Sunday is what I guarantee you Burns is thinking in his head. And then all of a sudden Burns has got to come out there. And it's just like, if you're not mentally ready to jump in and do that, you're not going to be your best. And so I think the learning opportunity for all those guys is we don't know what might happen. I need to stay locked in. I need to stay ready to pitch if the team needs me. And I think they'll learn from that. I mean, I think they got to learn that lesson about the best way they possibly could. It would have been a hell of a lot worse to learn that lesson with a loss because you just absolutely melted down in the ninth and ended up losing a game. So if I had to say something went wrong, that was it. What were you indifferent about, Zach?
Weather delay.
That's fair.
Indifferent. I mean, you'd like to see the bat kind of start coming around for Tinney a little bit. I've seen it in bits and spurts here and there, but it's your ramp up time, right? Like SEC play is here. So I'd like to see that kind of get going and not on a Tuesday night where we're hitting it over the monster, but really just a little more consistency. And what's weird is I think he's still pressing a little bit because you see early in the game where he's maybe attacking at pitches that aren't really his pitches, but then late in the game, he hit a double to the wall and then he hit another one. And so I think instead of chasing power, instead of chasing anything else, just chase consistency. And I think he'll be fine. But just like to see a little uptick in him is indifferent.
Yeah,
I'm not worried at all. That's why I'm indifferent about it.
And that's fair. And I think if you look at this lineup, he's the guy that everybody's probably going, when is that going to happen? But on the flip side of that, he's hit some balls really hard that have been like right at people.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably hit 2 or 3 this year that if they were up like, a few degrees on launch angle are out of the ballpark, but he's smoked them right at people, like just absolute like crushing blows to a baseball that just went right to people. So, and that's baseball too, unfortunately. So yeah, but I can see that being indifference because I agree with you. I mean, he's been around. You can see the talent, obviously. When he makes contact, it's hard. So yeah, I think he's going to be a guy that when the light comes on, it's going to be one of those oh hell yeah moments. I hope it's this weekend. I'm gonna be there. Maybe it's the Tinney coming out party, and then I've got to be at every game after that for the rest of the season or something like that. We'll see how that goes. Mark, what are you indifferent about over the weekend?
For the second week in a row, I'm going to say I'm indifferent about Texas baseball fans, and I honestly think they have been shit this season so far. So I'm going to say this. I feel like their free pass should be over, and if the stadium is not absolutely rocking for all 3 games this weekend, I'm going to be pretty pissed off. I'll be honest with you, man. Like, the crowds just have not been good They weren't good in Houston. They weren't good at home. They were terrible yesterday. I mean, I'm even calling out left field folks. We had about 10 people in left field yesterday for the game. So you talk about a team that's 15-0, man. They deserve to be playing in front of full stadiums and crowds that are into the game. I expect things will change for SEC play, but man, that better be the case, because I would say an empty Dishwalk field is what I'm indifferent about.
Fair enough. I can't really think of much I'm too indifferent of. I mean, I guess I could say that. I mean, you stole mine a little bit, Zach, but the 3 games on Saturday, rain delay thing, really, I'm indifferent about that. I'm not indifferent about it. It pisses me off. I don't have an indifferent. I should have wrote one down. I should have thought about this better. So I'll just say that y'all's were both of mine and y'all stole mine. To your point, Mark, about the fans, a couple of things that I think are interesting. One of them is a question to you, Mark. Last year, at this time of the season, were we seeing bigger crowds? Because I hadn't made it down yet. I'll be honest, I hadn't made it down to Austin for a game. And was the weather as bad? Good?
We had great weather for UC Davis and Michigan State, man. I mean, overall, it's been pretty good. I think really Saturday against, Upstate was really the only terrible weather day that we've had. I guess, was it Michigan State where it rained on Saturday as well leading up to the game?
It was cold and rainy on Michigan State Saturday, yeah.
But overall, man, it's been pretty damn empty. I feel like the last 2 or 3 seasons out of conference crowds have been much, much larger. At least that's what I remember. And again, I think what also hammered it home for me is I was just really disappointed. We talked about this last week, the Houston crowds. And I know that probably had a lot to do with the competition that we were playing, and it's not the normal big names that you see in that Houston tournament. But yeah, man, it's just been kind of weird, to be honest with you. And I think yesterday was pretty awkward. I mean, that stadium was pretty empty for a noon game on Sunday where the weather wasn't terrible. So
fair enough. So fans, y'all better get out there. Mark's gonna go off on all y'all. And hey, the weather this weekend looks like it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I think you've got an 82 on Friday for the high. It looks like 89, I think, on Saturday or Sundays. And I think Sunday's 89. Saturday looks like it's 86, 87. So the weather couldn't be much better. The only thing I would say is, man, can we just get some in between? Like it was cold last weekend or cool last weekend. Can we get some 70s? No, we're not. We're going to get some 80s and some mid to upper 80s. That's good baseball weather, folks. And Ole Miss is coming to town. They are a 15-2 team. Man, you know what's funny is both the teams we're playing this week lost to Baylor. And that's I don't know why I feel like that's interesting, but it's interesting to me.
Here's an interesting tidbit for Texas State that I just found out.
All right, let's do it.
So their starting pitcher they have finally announced is going to be Titan Targak. He is the younger cousin of Ryan Target, who played at Texas A&M and was a big time hitter and star for them. I think he's actually a assistant coach or like a grad assistant for Texas A&M. But the fun part about this is Titan was committed to the Aggies when Schlossnagle was still coach for A&M, and then decommitted when he made the move over. So there's going to be a little bit of, comeback. So that'll be fun.
And Austin Wallace is on their staff too, right? The old Texas pitcher.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I think there's always going to be some connections between Texas baseball and Texas State. Look at Ty Harrington, a guy that played at Texas, coached it at Texas State. Now I think back when he coached it was Southwest. What was it called? Southwest State University or something like that?
Southwest Texas.
Yeah, Southwest Texas. So, yeah, SWT, that's right. And now, of course, he's back in the booth calling games on the SEC network for Texas baseball. So, yeah, I mean, what is it, 40 minutes away? There's always going to be some stuff like the interesting thing to me about this Titan guy, really cool name. He's only 6 feet, 187 pounds. So, like, he didn't grow into the Titan that his folks thought he might grow into, at least size wise. Maybe he can chunk. He's got an 8.0 ERA, so I don't know I don't know what
he's
that
90,
portends.
91 fastball, 78 slider, and a changeup in the low 70s. But I've watched some video against him or for him against Baylor versus UTSA. Like he's pitched in some big situations. He can run it up. Like he plays higher than that 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and he struck out the side in a couple of different innings. So he'll be one to watch to see. Now, again, that's Baylor, and I don't think very highly of Baylor. So we'll see.
I don't either. But hey, he's probably got some good stuff if he was committed to Texas A&M. So yeah, that'll be interesting. We know who the starter is there. I'm assuming Cozart's going to roll out for the Texas Longhorns. And man, just what an incredible start. He actually, a lot of the freshman arms have had a really, really good start early in this Texas season. I wonder. I saw some chatter on one of my tweets about like my thoughts of the game, and there was people kind of talking about Cozart maybe moving into a starting role on the weekend and stuff like that. And I don't think so either. But I wonder what his role turns into in a postseason type situation, and probably it's probably coming out of the bullpen to get you 2, 3, 4 innings, something like that. I don't know. What do you think, Zach? I mean, that's an interesting topic, I think.
I think it depends on the situation. He's a guy that I could see start the SEC tournament out in Hoover,
right? Because you don't. Yeah, you want to play a little.
Burn your guys, and the thing
right.
about the Hoover tournament is because it starts depending on what seed you're on. You start like on that Wednesday, Thursday. You've got to set up your pitching so you're not bringing guys up or not leaving them too late to get to regionals the next weekend. I mean, that's why you saw Ewok start last year. Like they had to get guys lined up, and so that puts suddenly Texas in a huge advantage potentially for having him on the mound there. You get to a regional, God forbid you got to go play a game 4. You got a guy that's got a lot of experience, a big arm. You got Sam Cozart. Or if you think about a super regional where it's only a 3-game series, okay, you go Ruger on Friday night. On Saturday, you bring out Luke Harrison, and then you give him 4, 4 1/3, 4 2/3. Transition right into Cozart, your entire bullpen can pitch and only worry about Friday and Sunday. I mean, it's a huge, huge possibility that that's what you see. And same thing with Winter. I talked to Schlossnagel today on our weekly video podcast, whatever the heck you want to call it. He thinks the same thing of Winter. Like he's like, yeah, Winter's a guy that could get a start by the end of the season. So there's a lot of starter type kids on this team. It's just how are they going to operate within those boundaries? So yeah, massive weapon to have Cozy continue to start on Tuesdays, not move him into the weekend. And honestly, if you want to move him into the weekend, that would have started 2 weeks ago, right? It's going to take time because someone's going to be on short rest or an extra day, and like just the whole flip flop around, it just doesn't work out very well.
I hear you. I was just throwing it out there because I thought it was an interesting topic. Because I think he's a guy. I mean, we've already seen him really early on be a guy that's done a lot of different things already. He started games. He's pitched in relief. He's and man, again, that dude is put together, man. That is a big. I cannot wait to see these guys in live action this weekend because I have a feeling it's going to be even cooler than they. They're going to be even bigger than they look on TV, I think. So I'm excited about that. Let's look ahead to this Ole Miss series. I talked about it some point in the show. 15-2, but they've, for whatever reason, just fallen out of the top 25. I was looking back at their. I don't know how you fall. I don't know how you start in the top 25 and fall out of the top 25, only having lost 2 games. But
they lost to Baylor and they lost to Coastal Carolina in that same Houston weekend, and they didn't look very good.
That's fair.
Against Coastal, and so they were like a borderline top 20 team, and so when you lose 2 games like that, you're going to drop out.
I mean, Coastal's still ranked in the freaking. They're for like 15 or something.
They shouldn't be ranked.
They should not be ranked.
That's not a rankable team right now.
No, I mean they don't have their best players. I don't know. It's like take the triplets off the Dallas Cowboys back in the 90s. You don't have the same team, man. And
it's funny to see like the differences between polls. I think Baseball America has Ole Miss number 16.
Okay.
And you look at a couple other polls and Ole Miss isn't ranked at all. So that really looked weird to me, where they can be 16 in BA, which, you know, I consider a respectable poll, and then just not be ranked in any of the other publications. So that seemed like a big difference to me.
In my own personal top 25, I did not rank them, for the record.
Oh wow, man!
What
no
would you
respect.
say are the best top 25 polls? Give me your top 3. I feel like there's like 30 of them now.
There's a ton of them. So the one that I participate in, and I think most it's a mixture between like what they've done versus who the opponents they've actually played and everything else. But the Just Baseball poll is, I think, pretty good.
Okay.
It is going to be similar to D1 at the top, but at the bottom, it does take into account teams like Miami, Coastal Carolina, Ole Miss, things like that, right? I think Kindle, the staff, like, they see a lot of baseball. They talk to a lot of people. I think oftentimes they adjust a little bit slower because they take into account injuries versus, you know, other variables. So those are probably the top 2. Perfect Games is usually just throw it away. Baseball America, I'm not a huge fan of theirs. I think theirs has some merit depending on certain areas, but again, it's really easy to rank the top 10 teams. Outside of the top 10, you have to put some research in. Like, you got to look at what they're doing, who they're playing, things like that. Then there's a couple of others that are like really out there and for their own reasons. Like, you have like the 64 Analytics. You've got the pair rankings, and then you've got Rob's rankings. And like 64 Analytics is purely on the like metrics, like this. What are they doing statistically? It's nothing about who they've played and all of that. And so it's very much a different type of ranking. Same thing with the pair rankings, like it's looking at the stats. So it, you know, is it a perfect system? No, but I think between Just Baseball and D1, you have a pretty good handle on who are like the top teams in the nation.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't all this stuff ultimately just boil down to RPI, almost like for the tournament stuff anyway?
RPI is going to play a big part of it, but this year they also, NCAA will be using the Diamond Sports Report, which is a partner of D1 Baseball, to look at strength of schedule, who they played, how they played, other different variables. And it's not they're not using it the same way as RPI, but they're trying to get away from purely looking at RPI and going, oh, this team is, 5 spots better than this team.
Right.
And then the other thing about the NCAA tournament at the end of the year is they are trying to rank the top 32 teams. So instead of ranking just the top 6, they're going to rank all 32. And so you're going to start to see that split of, you might not see like a UTSA in an Austin Regional anymore because of that. Like, because UTSA was a very strong top 32 team. So they are trying to amend that process to some degree. But yeah, RPI is still one of the kings.
All right. Ole Miss, what to expect this weekend, Zach, in terms of guys? I was looking at their stats. It looks like they got a couple guys hitting over 400. They've got 4 guys over 1,000 OPS. This Judd Udermark dude has got 10 bombs already this season, and I hope I said that wrong. If I didn't, apologize to the family. I know they're watching. Yeah, that's some power, man. We've been talking about Gaspo out there in UCLA, but this kid from Ole Miss is bombing the ball around too. This Tristan Becerra, he's got 7 dingers, 26 hits. He's leading the way for this Ole Miss team. And then you flip it around and look at that pitching. It look, at least on the surface, they got some arms in there as well. This Cade Townsend guy looks outstanding. Talk to us about this team. What should we expect out of this team, Zach?
Yeah, Ole Miss is an interesting team. Coming into the year, everyone knew that they were going to be able to pitch, and I mean they've got a 2.71 team ERA. Hunter Elliott was the preseason pitcher of the SEC. Like, he's really, really good. He's a super older guy because he had injuries earlier in his career. The surprising thing about Elliott, and he's their Friday night guy, so he'll match up against Ruger. His command has been pretty shaky, and he's a lefty. He's not going to wow you with velo, but if you talk to Sloss or Max, like, the guy knows how to pitch. He knows how to pitch and not just throw. But his strikeout and walk ratio are all kinds of off. Like he has 15 walks and only 30 strikeouts in 19 innings. So he's walking almost a batter an inning, which is unusual. But their best arm is definitely Cade Townsend. He's their Saturday night guy. He's been lights out this year. I mean, he's been really, really good. So I think the Sunday guy is their biggest weakness. They got Will Libbert there. He's a transfer from Missouri. Anytime I hear about a Missouri guy in the SEC, I'm thinking, nah.
Yeah.
There's no shot. So I think Texas, situationally, I think Texas is stronger on Friday night pitching wise, weaker on Saturday, and then much stronger on Sunday. So, I do like a series win. And then to your point on the hitting side, yeah, they've got some guys that can hit. Uttermark he plays good defensive ball and he can hit the ball really well. They've got some bashers. They also have 148 strikeouts though. So it's swing and miss, or they're hammering the ball.
Right.
So it's not as well rounded of a team, I don't think, as Texas, but they've got a solid team. Offensively, I think they haven't been as strong, maybe as some might have expected, because they do return some big names. But it's a really good mark. I mean, they're going to be a solid team. It's going to be a big test for Texas for sure right off the bat, because the pitching is legit. Like, Texas hitters are going to need to come.
Yeah, and man, maybe that's what this team needs to kind of kick it up a notch mentally, to be facing a team like that where where they get off the bus and you go, okay, yeah, that's a baseball team. Like what we've seen so far. No offense to any of these other teams, it's just different, right? And what's going to come off the bus Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with this Ole Miss team is going to be kids that look a lot like the kids that are in the Texas dugout. And they're going to be good ball players. So, Mark, what's going on out in left field this weekend? Well,
Man,
why should 7,000 strong show up to the dish? This, besides just supporting Texas Longhorns, we all get that. Why should they show up and be ready for what type of party this weekend?
Man, it's tough to beat Texas baseball and good weather, man, with
I agree.
with a big name opponent. So yeah, we mentioned the weather earlier. I think it's going to be great weather. Should hopefully be good crowds. We're going to be doing some cooking in left field this weekend. Our boy Josh is bringing his little grill out there. He's famous for his tacos that he makes. He's going to be spinning those up on Saturday.
Nice.
Our boy Dante is going to be cooking as always.
Yeah, Dante will always have some food.
Yeah, so we're going to be throwing it down this weekend, man, expecting some really large crowds. And I think it's going to be the beginning of a really great conference home season, man. We have Ole Miss, and then we got Oklahoma and Mississippi State right after that. So the next three.
Alabama.
Alabama as well. So, yeah, it's going to be fun, man. And I was actually just looking on my phone, and to be fair to the fans, it does look like every SEC game is already marked as sold out on the schedule. So I think tickets are spoken for. Now we just need butts and seats, and we need people there being loud and being rowdy. So hopefully that's what we see this weekend.
Yeah, I know when I got to pick my seats this year, I was trying to upgrade, and there wasn't nothing to upgrade to. So, yeah. So people bought tickets. Let's get out there. Let's support the team. Mark, what's your prediction for this weekend?
Yeah, it's tough to be objective when your team's undefeated and you're kind of hoping that they win every game. But I also understand we do play in the best baseball conference in the country. And just as a reminder to folks, right, you're going to lose some baseball games in the SEC. And I think the goal that I have for myself when you're playing a quality opponent in conference play is you always want to take the series. I think there are teams out there like a Missouri, as an example, that when you're playing a team like that, you do want to look for a sweep. And we also got spoiled last year, right, by our start, where
I was just fixing to say that,
like Georgia and sweeping really good teams at home, Auburn, right? But I've seen enough baseball to not expect that. So I think if you look at the week overall And if Texas is able to get a 3-1 week where you beat Texas State and win 2 out of 3 against Ole Miss, I would be very, very happy with that start to SEC play. So I'm going to say Texas takes 2 out of 3.
Fair enough. You nailed it with the expectations thing. Like last year was just such an amazing start. It was like, Texas fans were like, what? When we finally lost the game, we're like, what is this? Like, what the hell just happened? This team can't be beat. What's going on? It is highly unlikely that this Texas team, which I think is better than last year's team, it's highly unlikely that they will cruise through the SEC, even as well as that team did last year. So to your point, I think winning series is absolutely a must. That's how you prove you're a team. That's how you prove you're a team that can go into Omaha and win the whole thing, is you can consistently go out there weekend after weekend. It doesn't matter who the opponent is, and you win series. We saw late in the season last year, we got swept in series. As good as the start was, it kind of fizzled out later in the year in the SEC. So, and on this Missouri team, they've won 15 straight games, guys. I don't know if we can do a lot of Missouri bashing right now.
Garbage. They are garbage. They have played garbage teams. They are. Trust me, their day is coming.
I'm messing around, dude. Missouri is terrible.
The reason I know they're garbage is they played New Haven. New Haven is 0-7 on the year, and because I did some research on them. They were in my weekend pick'em against 0-9 Stonehill, and then they screwed me by not playing a series this weekend because the surface was unplayable. For everyone that wants grass, this is why you play on turf. We would not have played baseball this weekend, for the record, if we had.
That's fair.
Grass.
That's fair.
But yeah, I think the other thing you mentioned something else. Like this staff said last year was a very unusual year. Like you don't just go in and win 22 games. You don't have all those series sweeps. Like that's a special year. And they said right off the bat, like this could be a much better team in 2026 and lose more games than they did last year. Right. Like, so no one should be like flipping out if you lose a series. Like the goal is to avoid getting swept. And if you don't get swept every weekend, guess what? You're going to be an NCAA regional team. That's just the way it goes in the SEC. So,
yeah, that's fair. But in fairness to the people that will panic, I think the expectation is probably a little better than being a 15-win, or what is it, a 10-win team in the SEC. So both sides of that are fair, I believe. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen this weekend? We haven't heard a prediction out of you, and then I'll give my prediction, and we'll get the hell out of here for the night and go watch World Baseball Classic.
I think Texas takes the series 2-1. I think they win Friday and they win Sunday. They lose Saturday.
Fair enough. I also think we probably drop a game. I don't know which one. I could see us, honestly, I could see us dropping any of them, and then I could see us winning the other two, like no matter what order that comes in. Because I just think this team is really strong. Pitching wise, they're probably the strongest team. I mean, I don't know. We can probably go back to a time and say, yeah, that team was stronger. But in recent memory, this is definitely the strongest pitching team, in my opinion. And I also like what I see out of the offense. And it's just so many different guys are hitting the ball. So it's not really – I mean, they're hitting home runs, but to me it's not the same type of hero ball as we had last year, where there was like just a handful of guys that if they didn't do something, we were in trouble. So I think this team is a lot more versatile offensively. So I think we're all going to go with we win the series, we drop one, and that'll be it for tonight's show. Anything else before we get out of here? Make sure you get out to the Dish. If you got tickets, please go to the Dish or give them to somebody that can go to the Dish. The weather's going to be amazing. Get your sunscreen out because it's going to be sunny and it's going to be hot. What else, Mark? Any other tips?
You're going to be here, Sean. We're going to see you for the first time.
Absolutely. We'll be there on Friday. We'll be there Friday. We'll be coming down on Friday. So I think we'll go grab something to eat and then run over to the stadium and partake and see some folks and meet some new folks. And then Saturday should be a hell of a day. And Sunday, we may be driving back, but it's a 1 p.m. game. So if we do, we can get in before it's too late anyway. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm excited to get back down. I love that place. It's a fun time. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Let's do it.
Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you follow these guys on Twitter. Mark Pena, Occupy Left Field. It'll scroll across the bottom, and it has at some point in the show. And then go check out Zach at the Dish. Zach also does a weekly show with the man Jim Schlossnagel, and I always forget the name of this. Is it Around the Horn?
Around the Horns, yeah. It'll be out tomorrow at 11.
There you go.
And we kick off that one. We kick off tomorrow's episode talking about Taylor Swift and Raleigh Fingers mustache. So
I love
just a little preview.
2 hot topics. All right, folks. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for joining. You guys have a good night. Let's go beat Texas State tomorrow night. Hook